Hey guys, this is Anime Ball Z here, and today we're going to be doing the fourth part of what if Naruto was an Ape's Age. I know the upload schedule's been a bit wavy lately, but I'm off school now, so I can upload much more frequently. There's nothing much else I want to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get into the video.
Winter time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag, disrespectful and I'm rude, okay. I had cocaine in the school.
Naruto runs over and manages to catch up with Sasuke. Sasuke says, "I knew you would follow, Naruto." He drops his arms and Naruto says, "Don't do this, Sasuke." He says, "Do what, Naruto?" Naruto doesn't reply. Sasuke gets agitated and shouts, "Do what?" He leaps over and punches Naruto off of the Hashirama statue. Naruto hurls into the air and lands gracelessly onto the rock ground. He stands with the waves blowing next to him and weaves many hand signs. Sasuke lands gracefully and quickly uses the fireball jutsu. Naruto leaps over the fire and lands before getting punched in the face. He grabs Sasuke's fist and kicks him in the side. He then jumps and while mid-air he hits him with another kick. Sasuke stumbles back and his curse mark flares. He grasps his neck in pain and laughs like a maniac. The curse mark grows across his body and Sasuke zooms at Naruto. He punches him and Naruto flies through a boulder. Naruto grabs a rock and throws it at Sasuke to deter him, but this just makes Sasuke even more angry. He punches Naruto again, but he just poofs away and Naruto punches him across the face. Sasuke then follows with a gut punch and kicks him away. Naruto rolls away on the floor then stands. Sasuke runs in and tries to punch Naruto, but Naruto catches his fist. Sasuke looks in confusion on how he just did that and red flame like chakra flows off his body. He headbutts Sasuke away then slashes his chest. He elbows him across the chin and kicks him in the gut. 100 shadow clones appear behind him and all interrogate Sasuke. Sasuke has a tough time fighting the shadow clones until he uses his Sharingan. He manages to see the attacks with insane perception and block and dodge with ease. Naruto thinks as burn marks over him have made him stronger, he will be a tough match. His Kurama chakra disappears and Sasuke looks around for any more shadow clones. Naruto closes his eyes and Sasuke runs over the water right in his direction. Sasuke leaps forward and creates the Chidori. He goes in for the final attack, but Naruto ducks under the hit and turns. He looks right in his direction with Sage Mode and Sasuke digs his arm into the wall accidentally. He pulls his arm out and gets blood down his arm. Naruto says, "Stop this!" Sasuke turns and punches him. Naruto knocks back a little but looks pretty much unfazed. He punches Sasuke away then kicks him in the side. He then hucks Sasuke in the face. He slams Sasuke into the floor and punches him in the face. He causes a dent in the floor from the impact, then he throws Sasuke out to the water. Sasuke slowly sinks but swims up and uses his chakra to stand on the water. Naruto puts up his hand and his hand begins to glow golden. A golden ball of energy then begins to form within his palm. He launches the ball of golden energy across the water and the waves move away from the golden ball of energy. Sasuke looks up and as this happens, his Sharingan upgrades to 3 Tomo. This means that his Sharingan is now complete. He then dodges the energy ball and it lands behind him in the water. This causes a large upthrust of water and Sasuke is sent off of his feet. Naruto aims in and launches another ball of energy. It hits Sasuke in the abdomen and he flies through the water. He falls from the skies and lands into the water. The water that was sent flying into the air rains down again and Naruto sighs of relief. Sasuke falls into the water and his curse mark grows across his body. He goes into the second stage and flies out of the water with his wings. Naruto prepares himself as Sasuke soars through the sky in his direction. Naruto leaps into the air last second to block Sasuke's punch but is merely sent flying into the air into some rocks. He stumbles onto a small footpath before getting slammed into the wall by Sasuke. He punches Naruto across the face multiple times before he falls down. Sasuke stands over him and says, "You lost, Naruto." He smiles like a restless demon and a black Chidori spawns in his hands. Naruto tries to get up and dodge but gets hit in the chest by it, however he does not die. He looks up at Sasuke as his muscles buff up and his eyes gain slit pupils. This is all happening without his hair lightening up though. He gains a light red aura around his body, then he kicks Sasuke to the other side of the Valley of the End. He stands and looks to him. He says, "You have lost, Sasuke." A purple Rasengan forms within his hand, but then golden energy swivels within the Rasengan also. Gushes of wind and chakra burst from his overall area and Naruto blurs towards Sasuke. It's almost like he teleports and within a split second he is right next to Sasuke. He aims his Rasengan and the explosion is so large it completely destroys the Madara statue. Sasuke flies back with a grave injury and Naruto stands over him with searing red eyes. His Sage Mode dissipates and his Kurama chakra disperses. He stumbles and falls next to him, looking up at the sky. Kakashi eventually arrives and Naruto stands. He says, "Sasuke." Is he dead? Kakashi says, doesn't look like it, I'll see what I can do. Let's get out of it. Your mission is complete. The mission finishes and Sasuke is returned to Konoha. He is given high level medical treatment and after a while he returns to his normal level of health again. While this is all happening, Naruto is talking to Jiraiya. He says, I can't leave. Not yet. Jiraiya says, why not? You can perfect Ape Sage Mode and learn another secret technique from the Black Mountains. Naruto says, no. Sasuke can leave and I have to stop him. Jiraiya says, suit yourself. You won't have much more time than Naruto. He stands and leaps into the distance. Sasuke, within the hospital at night, gets his ripped and dirty clothes and opens the window. He leaps out of the window and lands onto the rocky ground. He runs out of the hospital and towards the village gate, however Naruto is standing right there to stop him. Sasuke says, Naruto, move! Naruto says, I won't move, Sasuke. Sasuke clenches his fists in fury and the Sharingan takes form. Naruto says, you don't have to do this. If you stay, you can become stronger than me, I promise you that. Sasuke says, oh please, like you would let that happen. Naruto says, I will, Sasuke. Sasuke says, oh be quiet and move. Naruto says, I won't let you get past. Sasuke says, and I'll fight you to get out. The curse mark grows across his body and he stands against Naruto. Naruto shakes his head and says, no, Sasuke. Sasuke pulls out a huge shuriken and spins at Naruto at a high revolution speed. It hits Naruto and blood spurts from his wound. Right after this, he poofs away. Naruto stands behind him, then the shuriken turns into Sasuke. Sasuke behind poofs away and Naruto dodges a punch from Sasuke. Sasuke tries to run, but Naruto pins him and says, you won't leave. Sasuke elbows him off and turns. He grabs his neck in pain and says, be quiet, I'll go if I like, and when I come back you're dead. Naruto grabs his wrist and pulls him back. He headbutts him and Sasuke tanks the attack no problem. He says, Naruto, just stop. Naruto looks up with fox eyes and pulls him back. He turns and leaps right at Sasuke. Sasuke side rolls and dodges a punch. Naruto's punch causes a small crater in the ground and Sasuke is astonished as well as furious. Sasuke thinks, no, I'm done, I'll kill you right now where we stand. He throws a kunai and Naruto dodges it and catches it. Naruto zooms at Sasuke, but Sasuke dodges both swings with ease. He punches Naruto in the gut, then Naruto tries to cut his neck. He just ends up cutting some of his hair off. Sasuke flips backwards and uppercuts Naruto in the chin. Naruto stumbles back and throws the kunai. Sasuke dodges, but he managed to attach a paper bomb. Sasuke flies forward and this gives Naruto a chance to hit him with a powerful punch. Sasuke flies into the dust and smoke and causes an opening within the smoke. Sasuke stands with a bleeding mouth and shouts, Naruto! He throws a punch but Naruto dodges and kicks him in the side. Naruto creates a Rasengan and shouts, Sasuke! He leaps and lands the powerful Rasengan in his gut. Sasuke flies away from the explosion and he rolls away. He gains a bad injury and spits blood. He gets onto one knee and walks towards Naruto. He acts like he's about to walk back into the village, but then he stabs Naruto in the heart with a kunai. Naruto spits blood and punches Sasuke in the head. He goes for another punch but Sasuke sees it and dodges the punch with ease. Naruto stumbles to the floor and Sasuke says, when I come back there'll be more of where that came from. He leaps into the distance and Naruto rips the kunai from his chest. The fox chakra dissipates and he stands. He spits blood, then his wound heals magically. Naruto stands and shouts, no! After this, Naruto reluctantly agrees to go and train in the Black Mountains. Once he returns, he gains complete Ape Sage mode. This is quite different to the incomplete mode, obviously for the main reason that it's stronger. He gets a tail and much more muscle, but his hair is a darker brown. He also has a simmering golden aura. When Naruto returns, he redoes the bell test with Kakashi. He's wearing a classic black cloak from the Black Mountains and he takes it off. He reveals his orange and black outfit and Sakura goes in for a tap. Sakura is clearly too slow for Kakashi's Sharingan and Kakashi isn't having that hard of a time dodging the incoming attacks. Naruto rushes past Sakura and throws a quick punch. 10 shadow clones appear around Kakashi, all with the Rasengan in their palms. Naruto says, Rasengan barrage! They all aim in and cause a bright and large explosion. Naruto and Sakura are sent sliding back. Sakura slides much further behind Naruto, obviously. When the smoke blows away and dissipates, merely a wooden block is revealed. It's charred and worn down, and Kakashi is also revealed sitting in a tree branch reading a book. Naruto throws a kunai with the paper bomb and it explodes next to Kakashi. Kakashi has no difficulty in moving away from the explosion in time and carries on reading. Sakura leaps at Kakashi and throws a punch which causes the trees around to cave into a large crater. Naruto closes his eyes and his muscles buff up. His hair darkens to almost black and his tail grows from behind him. His fangs grow and he gains glowing blood red eyes. Kakashi says, that new form looks good on you, Naruto. Naruto dashes to Kakashi silently and 5 shadow clones surround him. They use insane speed and strength and Kakashi is actually forced to put effort into dodging and blocking the attacks. Naruto comes out of nowhere and punches him back. Kakashi slides back, then he blocks a punch from Naruto. Naruto then opens his palm and a golden ball of energy appears in his hand. It expands, then condenses into a pure white, smaller sized ball. It glows much much more brightly than the golden one and it looks quite unstable. Naruto says Ape Sage Mode Sun Bomb. He releases the energy ball and Kakashi uses substitution jutsu just in time to dodge the attack. A bright white light goes off and a huge explosion occurs. Kakashi isn't reading anymore, he's focused. Naruto turns and says, "How did you dodge?" Kakashi says, "I'm surprised I did too." Sakura goes in for the bells but Sakura misses and falls forward. Naruto runs and leaps at Kakashi. He goes into close quarters combat but he is clearly no match. Naruto misses a punch then slams all his power into the floor below. Kakashi leaps far into the air then Naruto opens his mouth. His body buffs up and his veins pulse as a ball of explosive energy develops within his mouth. He launches the energy blast and Kakashi is forced to block. The energy ball explodes and Kakashi flies further up into the air. The explosion is so loud that the village hears it. Naruto controls his chakra into a kunai and soars it into the sky. Kakashi dodges but Naruto only uses as a ploy to get away in time. Kakashi looks at his hand and sees he has dropped the bells. Naruto runs and leaps right into the air. He reaches and grabs the bells before slamming into the floor. Kakashi lands on his feet, breathing pretty hard. He says, "I underestimated you, Naruto." Naruto says, "Thank you." Naruto looks to the side and a group of Chunin are at the scene. They are holding ninja weapons and Kakashi is there. Kakashi says, "Don't worry, nothing bad is going on here." One Chunin nods and says, "Everyone, let's go." Kakashi says it was too loud. So that will conclude the fourth part of What If Naruto Was an Ape Sage. I hope you guys enjoyed it because I certainly enjoyed recording this quite a lot. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.